When people hear the words fire and ash, their minds usually go somewhere fictional. A distant planet, a cinematic apocalypse, a world designed to feel extreme but safely unreal. But fire and ash are not science fiction. They exist here, on Earth, right now. And once you understand where these places are and what actually happens there, you'll realize something unsettling. Some environments on this planet are not just dangerous, they actively reject human presence. These are not disaster zones. They are not temporary catastrophes. They are stable, ongoing conditions where the Earth behaves as if humans were never meant to exist. This is where the idea of fire and ash stops being a visual fantasy and starts becoming a physical reality. Most of the world feels predictable. The ground stays solid. The air stays breathable. The rules feel fixed. But in certain regions, those rules quietly collapse. In those places, the surface burns. The air corrodes. The land itself becomes hostile, not because of an accident, but because of deep planetary forces that do not stop for anything alive. And once you see how these forces work, a question begins to form. How many places like this exist, and how close are they to us? The first place you need to understand lies in northern Ethiopia. The Dalal region is one of the hottest places ever measured on Earth. But heat alone is not what makes it lethal. Here, volcanic activity below the surface pushes gases upward through thick layers of salt. When those gases reach the surface, they mix with water and minerals to form pools of acid. Not metaphorical acid, real, industrial strength acid. Some pools are so corrosive they can eat through rubber boots in minutes. Others release toxic fumes invisible to the eye, but capable of damaging lungs after brief exposure. The colors here are deceptive. Bright yellows, neon greens, deep blacks. It looks artificial, almost cinematic, like something rendered for a science fiction world. But nothing here is staged. Scientists who study the Dalal do not wander freely. They wear protective gear. They monitor exposure time. They move with urgency, because staying too long can cause heat stroke, chemical burns, or respiratory failure. And yet, this place has existed for thousands of years. It is not erupting. It is not collapsing. It is simply Earth operating under conditions where humans are tolerated only briefly. This is fire and ash, without drama, without warning, without mercy. But the law represents only one expression of planetary instability. Fire can behave slowly, or it can move faster than your body can react. To understand that difference, you have to look towards Central Africa. Mount Nyiragongo is not a typical volcano. Most volcanoes erupt with warning signs: pressure buildup, tremors, gradual escalation. Nyiragongo does not follow that pattern. Its lava is unusually low in silica, which allows it to flow at terrifying speeds. In past eruptions, lava here has moved faster than a human can run. Imagine standing in your neighborhood, hearing no explosion, feeling no tremor, and then seeing the ground itself racing toward you. Entire communities have been overrun with little warning, roads erased, homes buried, lives permanently altered. What makes Nyiragongo especially dangerous isn't just the fire, it's the illusion of safety before it happens. This is fire that doesn't announce itself, fire that doesn't negotiate, fire that doesn't slow down. But the most enduring damage doesn't come from the lava itself, it comes from what follows. Ash is often misunderstood. It looks harmless, light, dust-like. But volcanic ash is pulverized rock, sharp, abrasive, and chemically reactive. When ash falls, it infiltrates everything. It clogs engines, it collapses roofs, it contaminates water supplies, it destroys crops. In 2021, this became painfully clear during the La Palma eruption. Lava destroyed homes quickly, but ash caused the damage that lasted. Entire regions remained uninhabitable long after the fire stopped flowing. People didn't leave because of heat. They left because breathing became dangerous. Ash lingered in the air, damaging lungs and eyes. It blanketed farmland, turning fertile soil into unusable ground. And here is where this stops being distant. You don't need to live near a volcano for ash to affect you. Ash clouds ground air travel across continents. They disrupt food supply chains. They shut down cities thousands of miles away. Fire destroys locally. Ash travels globally. This is where planetary instability begins to intersect with modern life. So why do scientists keep returning to these places? Why risk exposure at all? The answer is uncomfortable. These environments reveal how the Earth behaves when human systems fail. They show how quickly infrastructure collapses, how fragile supply chains really are, how thin the margin of safety actually is. More importantly, they reveal something deeper. The planet has thresholds. Cross them, and recovery does not happen on human timelines. And some of the most revealing thresholds lie underwater. Beneath the oceans, researchers have discovered massive stone formations, perfectly straight lines, sharp angles, symmetrical shapes. Some argue these are natural formations shaped by erosion and tectonic forces. Others believe they are remnants of ancient human activity, structures built when sea levels were far lower. What matters isn't which explanation is correct. What matters is where many of these formations are located. They sit near zones of intense volcanic instability, regions prone to earthquakes, eruptions, and massive ash fallout. If civilizations once existed here, they didn't fade away quietly. They were erased. And sometimes what survives that erasure isn't stone. Sometimes it's life. In 1938, something surfaced that shattered a scientific assumption held for decades. A fish believed extinct for over 65 million years was pulled from the ocean. Its anatomy was unlike modern fish. It moved its fins like limbs. It didn't swim so much as walk through water. This discovery forced scientists to rethink the evolutionary path from sea to land. But it also revealed something unsettling. Life can survive in conditions we assume are impossible. Extreme pressure, low oxygen, complete darkness. Fire and ash can wipe environments clean, but sometimes they preserve them. Ash can seal. Fire can fossilize. Destruction can freeze time. This idea extends beyond biology. It reaches into myth. For centuries, sailors told stories of enormous tentacled beasts lurking in deep waters, ships dragged under, men disappearing without explanation. The Kraken was dismissed as folklore until physical evidence began surfacing. Giant squid, some exceeding 40 feet, were documented, photographed, and studied. These animals live at depths where sunlight never reaches. They existed alongside us, unseen, for centuries. Which raises an unsettling question. If creatures this large remained hidden for so long, what else exists beyond our visibility? Fire and ash don't just shape landscapes. They shape fear. They remind us how little control we truly have. Nowhere is that clearer than in Yellowstone. What scientists once believed were scattered geysers turned out to be something far larger, a supervolcano, one capable of eruptions thousands of times stronger than Mount St. Helens. Its past eruptions altered global climate, covered continents in ash, changed ecosystems for generations. And it isn't dead. Heat still moves beneath the surface. Pressure still builds. The system remains active, dormant, but not extinct, which means fire and ash are not remnants of the past. They are future possibilities. Humans tend to believe danger announces itself, that disasters arrive with warning. But history shows something else. The most important boundaries are crossed quietly. And when they are crossed, the consequences are irreversible. This is where the idea behind Avatar, Fire and Ash stops feeling fictional, because the planet doesn't need imagination to create hostile worlds. It already has them. Fire and ash are not symbols. They are processes. They are reminders that Earth existed long before us and will exist long after us. Some places on this planet are not meant to be explored casually. Some environments are not puzzles to be solved. They are lines drawn by the planet itself. And once crossed, they do not forgive. These are not fictional worlds. They are real, and they exist right here on Earth.